Hey y'all, welcome back to my table of three. Today I was planning on sharing another appetizer for you for your New Year's parties, but time has got away from me and got a lot of stuff going on this week with the blog and getting ready for recipes to roll in the new year. So I thought I would share basically one of the recipes that's on my blog for years. People really love them. They are my spinach and feta pinwheels. Now let me preference the video that you're about to see just a little bit. This is some very old clips that I had that I never used that I want to use because it's a good recipe. I think I never used them because I had a cold, or I think it was like sinuses or allergies or something going in. So pardon if you hear me sniff or things like that. I apologize in advance for that. But it's still a good recipe. I don't want to waste those clips. And since I promised you guys another recipe, I thought, hey, why not go ahead and get the benefit of recording these clips and use that so they don't go to waste and so that you guys can enjoy this recipe. They are very good pinwheels. They're warm fit pinwheels. I actually am going to make them in this video. They are low carb, keto, and gluten-free. Also, if you follow Trim Healthy Mama video, our diet, like some of my followers do, these would be a Trim Healthy Mama S. So basically this is a higher fat recipe. It's gluten-free. And it's delicious. Now, if you don't want keto or low carb, you can totally use the filling that I'm going to show you how to make. You can make that, and then you could use crescent doughs or even a pre-made pizza dough that you can buy at the store, and you roll those out. You'll follow the same procedures as I do with the dough that I'm going to show you how to make in the video. Just swap that out for some pre-made pizza dough or the crescent rolls that you get at the store back in the refrigerator section. It would be delicious. I've made them that way for company that's been in, but in this video, it is going to be a lower carb because that's how I make it when I make them here at the house. And I know some of my followers do keto and low carb in Trim Healthy Mama. So you can also freeze this recipe really easily. And to do that, you would just make the full recipe, get to the point where I show you how to slice them and lay them on a cookie sheet. Then you would freeze them, so they freeze individually. Once they're frozen, you can take those off, put those in a Ziploc freezer bag, and store those into your freezer up to 2 months. And then you just pull them out and bake them from frozen. Just add a couple minutes to them. There's no reason to thaw. So I hope you enjoy the recipe, whether you're eating it keto, low carb, or with the refrigerator dough. It's going to be delicious, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's jump in, and let me show you how I made these spinach and feta pinwheels. Okay guys, so I'm starting here in my mixer, my KitchenAid mixer. I'm going to add 6 ounces of softened cream cheese. I just left that out on the counter all day and let it get soft. Sorry, got things going on in the background. The next thing I'm going to do is, if you can see this, hopefully it's not too blurry, it's not too dark, is 10 ounces of chopped spinach, and I drained, this is 10 ounces. I squeezed all the water out and drained it really well, and the granules you see on the, it's just garlic and onion powder. And I'm not going to go through all the measurements. I'll put the link to my recipe on my blog down below, so just going to add that in there. The next thing I'm going to do is I like to add in a little bit of cottage cheese. Now this is not in the recipe, so it's optional. I just like it because I like the taste of it in, and then cottage cheese in like the Greek spinach feta, it's kind of a thing. So this is actually optional, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that in there, a half a cup. So note on the recipe on the blog, it will not say cottage cheese, so you totally do not have to put that in there if you don't like cottage cheese or if you don't have any. It works, and it's just as delicious. I'm just going to put that on and let that mix up. And since everything was room temperature, well, the cottage cheese was not room temperature, but the spinach and the cream cheese was, so it should come together pretty quick. I'm just going to stop this for a second and scrape down the sides. And the key to this mixture, hopefully I'm not blocking any of that, is to make sure it's not really, really wet. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that on high. And then the next thing I'm going to add, which is the last part of the filling, is this, hopefully it'll, let me see if I can get it to focus, feta cheese. And I love feta, and I'm going to add about 2 ounces maybe 3 ounces of this into the filling. Again, I'll have the exact measurement in the recipe link below. And I'm not even going to measure this, guy. I've made these so many times that I don't have to. And you try and get to focus. I'm so sorry. So I'm just going to sprinkle that in. This whole container is 6 ounces, so that should be about 1/3 of it. And I'm going to mix that in again. Now, Feta is a strong cheese. It's a very strong flavor, so it's one of those cheeses that either you're going to really like or you're going to not like at all. So you could totally make this spinach pinwheels without the Feta, but it really makes a really good flavor with the Feta, so I highly recommend trying it. You can also get all kinds of Feta cheese these days. I really love the ones that have the Mediterranean seasoning already in the Feta. That's amazing too. Okay, so that's our filling, guys. Just that simple. Hopefully, just gonna kind of put this over there. Making a mess, really. So that's it. This is going to be the filling to our pinwheel. So the next thing we need to do is to make our dough for our pinwheels, which is basically my version of the fathead dough. And so that's what the filling looks like. This filling you can almost eat with a spoon just like this. It's amazing. Alright, so I am going to go ahead and get started with the dough and set this aside, and we'll be right back and I'll show you how to do that. Alright guys, so in this bowl I'm working on my fathead pizza dough, and I did 8 ounces of mozzarella and then 2 ounces of cream cheese. I did intervals in the microwave until it got real stringy and smooth like that. Now I have a full video on how I make this dough, so don't worry if you don't know how. I'll also put that video below in the comments. So to this, I am going to make sure it's focused. And I'm going to add my dry ingredients, which to mine is 3/4 of a cup of almond meal, finely ground, 2 tablespoons of oat fiber, and a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, which is optional. We put that in there. And then 1 large beaten egg. And then we're going to stir like crazy. And this is something you need to move pretty fast, because this cheese, you don't have to panic, because as you're stirring it, if it gets harder, you can always just heat it back up a little bit to make it more pliable. Now, I don't think you get a lot done. I clean my hands. You do it so much better with this dough with working with your hands. So make sure you have really clean hands, and when you get it stirred in, I like to work it with my hands. I spray a little bit of cooking spray on clean hands and just go in with my hands. So this is, God gave you the hands, let's use them. My family doesn't care, so we're going to mix these in. The key to this dough and having a good pastry is to mix all those dry ingredients in. You don't want big lumps in your dough. I don't know if you guys can see some of those, but there's still some lumps in there. See that? You don't want that. So you just keep kneading it in. Keep kneading. I need a little bit more spray. And you can do this. Be careful because it is hot. You just knead it like you would a bread dough. And then you'll get all those dry ingredients worked in to where there won't be any lumps anymore. And it'll look like that. Feel it's all okay. So this I'm going to put in here and let it sit for a minute and wash my hands, and we'll be back to show you how I roll it out and fill it. Alright guys, so I have my dough on a piece of wax paper that I sprayed with my cooking spray. I sprayed the top of the dough a little bit. You can see that it's still very pliable, although it's cooled down. But if it does get too hard to work with, just stick it back in the microwave for a few minutes and it will loosen up. Okay, I'm going to spray my family old heirloom rolling pin, and then I'm going to roll this out. Press as you roll. It looks like this paper, and this is the cheap wax paper from the Dollar Tree, so it doesn't really very frustrating. You're just going to continue. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. Just going to roll it out to a rectangle. Turn it as you roll it. You want it thin and you want it larger, but you don't want it so thin that it's going to tear when you add the filling. And that's that. So there we go. You can see that. If you have any like this down here that's a little bit thicker, just kind of move it back and forth. It does not have to be perfect, guys. These are so forgiving. So there you have your dough rolled out, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill it and show you how here's the filling that we made in the mixer. Okay. And here you just want to spread it evenly around. Get the rest of it out of the bowl. And just put all of it in, and now just spread it out. So easy. These guys, these are so amazing. These are some of my favorite. If you haven't visited my blog or seen some of my other recipes, I have 3 or 4 pinwheel recipes. The most popular on my blog is the sausage and cream cheese pinwheels, using the same version of my fathead dough, and it's just sausage and cream cheese, and they're amazing, and they actually have gone pretty viral. It's still, ever since I made it, the #1 recipe on my blog. And on Pinterest it's had, oh goodness, I think the last time I checked it had like 350,000 pins. So I was so shocked that those went as well as they did. But these are just as good. And so after you get them all filled out like that, you're going to start with clean hands again, and you're going to roll them like you would cinnamon rolls. And the key to this is while you're rolling, you want to tug and pull back a little bit, because you want them to be tight rolls. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the tighter the rolls are, the longer your pinwheel roll will be, and the more you'll get lengthwise when you slice it. And plus, when you cut it later after it chills, it'll stick together better, and you'll have that pretty spiral look. So we're just gonna, when we roll, then we're gonna squeeze and move out. Roll, squeeze it tight, and roll some more. Just like that. Hopefully you guys can see that. You can see it's nothing hard at all, just like rolling cinnamon rolls. So we're gonna keep, I like to stretch it a little bit as I roll it. So like I said, it would make more rolls, because the longer it is, the more pinwheels you're gonna get. The more you'll be able to slice. So you just keep going like that. And the ends, some of it will come out the ends, no worries. Those are the part you will cook and keep for the chef. Those are the best parts. So just keep going like that. And you'll see I'm just about done, so I'm gonna finish that up. Hopefully you guys can see that. I am gonna finish rolling up the rest of that, and then I'm just gonna use this paper to wrap it up and put it in the fridge on a plate for about at least 30 minutes to an hour, so that it chills, because the colder it is, the better it's going to slice. So I'm going to finish getting this rolled up and put it in the refrigerator to chill, and I'll be back to show you how to slice it when we're ready to bake. This has been in the refrigerator for several hours, and now I'm going to show you how I prep it from here. You can see that it's set up and got a little bit more easy to pick up without breaking. I'm just going to unroll it from the wax paper that it's in and place it on the cutting board. And then I'm just going to take a really sharp knife and slice it. You want to slice it probably about a 1/4 of an inch thick. And this knife is not sharp enough, so let me do this. Sometimes a serrated knife works better. So I like to get about 27 slices off of this. So probably about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch maybe, or a little bit less thick. And you guys can see what they look like. About this thick maybe. And so I'm just going to start lining them up on the cookie sheet. And they don't have to be terribly far apart, because they won't spread a ton. So I'm just going to continue slicing until I get all of these sliced up. And then right now I have my oven preheating to 375. If you don't want to go that high, you can always do 350. I like to put them on 375, and they will probably bake for about 16 to 18 minutes depending on your oven and how warm it is, or what temperature it gets to. You know, ovens vary. Mine takes generally about 16 to 18 minutes. And that's my oven ready right there, come to temperature. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this, a few more on here, and go ahead and get these in the oven. And I did spray my pan there. So I'm going to get these in the oven and bake those at 375 for about 16 to 18 minutes. And I'll come back and show you what they look like when they're baked. Hey you guys, so here they are, right out of the oven. They're extremely hot right now, but you can see how beautiful and golden brown. I'm going to see if I can pick up one and show you. Focus. Look at that. This is just the cheese. It gets a little dark on the bottom, but it's so hot. But they are delicious. And I usually do these for parties or things like that. And they are so good to just grab and go. Now, if you don't like yours as golden brown as we do, you can always take them out a few minutes sooner. But this did bake for 18 minutes, and they are nice and gooey and soft in the middle. And that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed that recipe. Thank you for bearing with me with those old clips, but the recipe is the same today as it was back then when I recorded it. But I want to wish all of you a very happy and blessed new year. I look forward to doing more videos in the new year. If you have any ideas of what kind of videos you'd like to see for the new year, please drop me a comment below and let me know. I know in January I will be sharing some canning videos that I've been working on for you guys, and some more recipes, probably leaning towards healthy eating as we jump into the new year and recover from all the heavy eating of the holidays. So have any video ideas or something that would be helpful to you, let me know in the comments below. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later.